All right, what is going on, everybody? What is going on? Hope everyone is having a fine Monday morning. Been gone for a little bit, took a little bit of time off, had our shorts still out there, but haven't been live since last Thursday's first round of the draft, as you know, haven't put out a video since our draft grade. So we're going to be hanging out, but doing something a little different for those that aren't familiar with the content on the channel. I do also do some fantasy football work. So we'll be streaming with my buddy over at the Catch Fantasy Football, who I help make content for, edit videos, stuff like that, draft with, all sorts of stuff. So we'll be doing a mock draft tonight for the upcoming fantasy season because, you know what? It is football season, ladies and gentlemen. The rookies have been signed, or I should say drafted. We got our teams now figured out what are the impacts these rookies going to have. Guys like Malik Neighbors last year, monster season, coming out, drafted by the Giants, one of the best fantasy performers. Brian Thomas Jr., another guy who fell very late in drafts, was a league winner in most drafts. So going through talking about, our man Ashton Genty. How high are we willing to draft Ashton Genty? What does Travis Hunter do? Wide receiver primarily? Is it going to be DB? Can we get, how about those interceptions? We get that little +2 potentially out there if he's playing defensive back for us as well. Plus, I'll be answering any of your questions out there, guys hanging out. It is a little Cinco de Mayo, having a nice little margarita to celebrate. Obviously, we have playoff basketball and hockey on the tube hanging out. So, appreciate everybody stopping by, locking in. And we'll get ready for that here probably in about 10 minutes or so. Switch on over to his channel. But in the meantime, we'll look at the Knickerbockers. The Knicks were down a lot in this game. Coming back. Let me flip over. I kind of chalked this one up as a dub for the Celtics here. But it looks like the Knicks back up 6 with 3 minutes left. Let's go. Who's cooking for me? Brunson with 29, OG with 23, Towns 12, but 5 of 12 shooting, not bad. Josh Hart 14, solid. Reaper, what's up? Hope you're having a good Monday evening. Just hanging out over here. Chilling before we get started with this fantasy football mock draft over with our boy John at the Catch. Waiting for that invite. He said about 8:30, we'll give or take, so we're just going to chill over here until then. If you haven't already, guys, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. We got daily sports content for you guys. Got the live streams, got long-form videos, we got shorts, all your sports needs. We're not just fantasy football, we're not just football. We're everything, like I said. So we're keeping tabs on the Knicks and Celtics score right now before we hop into this mock draft. Reaper, appreciate the sub. Welcome to the channel. And if anybody else's subs, I can only see like public subs pop up on my notifications. So if you have subbed, you're new to the channel, just drop it in the chat. I will shout you out if you want that shout out. And if not, no worries. Welcome. Let's see. Jaylen Brown with a 20 piece for Boston right now. Man, my man is cooking. Actually, I kind of hate Jaylen Brown. Why did I say my man? I hate Jaylen Brown. Let me go over to the Gamecast. Let's see if I can get this Gamecast looking a little bit better over here. Transform. Take that down a bit. Let's get it down to... there we go. All right, there we go. 2-point game, 250 left. Uh-oh. It's getting tight. Camden, what's up? Hope you're having a good Monday night. Sorry, just getting text. Young God, I look like LeBron James. I look like a goat. I appreciate that. Except unlike LeBron, I'm healthy enough to stream tonight. LeBron's injured. Hold on. my god. There we go. All right, we grabbed the spot. What is going on? Uh-oh. This is not working out for me. Oh, gosh. Sorry, guys. I have to do a million things. Sleepers being stupid. Oh my gosh. I'm getting cooked right now, chat. Zins, what's up? We're having a million technical difficulties right here. Trying to get in for our mock draft tonight. The email went to my spam. And everything got cooked. Oh my god. Okay, let's see if this works. I'm not in. Oh my god, what a disaster. What a disaster, chat. All right, we're going to switch over. Hold on a second. Here, chat. Let me deactivate my camera. Hold on. Main window. Yo, so that was a disaster. Your email went to my spam account. It like put it in my spam mailbox and I didn't get in. Okay, that's fine. Instantly. Because I had my email up and I was looking, and then you text me, and I was like, what? And I was like, oh, no. Rip. Nope, bad content. We're the worst. All right. Probably. Let me see if I can see this mock draft at least. Yeah, tell them they're lame. Okay. Yeah, bro. There we go. But then I can't see. Oh, this is killing me. There, okay, then I can't see chat. But you know what, chat? You guys suck anyway. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, there we go. I think we're good. Are we good, chat? We're kind of good. Actually, we're too big. There we go. Go ahead. Everybody's been bullying me in my chat. Chat quit bullying me. Call me a boomer. Boom. All right. It's definitely a new year. Definitely a new stream. Actually, and I can do this. There we go. Look at our beautiful selves. Always be hydrated. I have a nice little margarita, keep me cool over here. It's refreshing. Nice little Cinco de Mayo. Ayo. There we go. All right.
Time of year, ladies and gentlemen. We absolutely need to start mock drafting. We absolutely need to start drafting on Underdog. It's never too early. It's truly never too early. It's the month of May. The NFL draft is over with. We're good to go, ladies and gentlemen. This is what we've been waiting for all off season long. So, you know what we're going to do. We're going to hop into a live 2025 fantasy football mock draft with you guys, with the Catch fam. And we're going to have some fun tonight. As always, we are going to talk some fantasy football. Pete is in the house. What is going on, man?
Not much. I'm a boomer and a potato, and I'm not in the mock draft with us. I'm a little disappointed. I was ready for it, but Gmail says John is a scammer. He's a bot. He's not real. He's spam. And you know what? That sounds about right. But I guess I'm here for the ride, so it should be fun. First draft. I think this is the first official draft of 2025. I think we got our rookie set. Only Aaron Rodgers, maybe the only guy, could be missing out there for us. But other than that, I think we're good to go. So yeah, let's get to it. I'm excited.
Yeah. We will, as always, break down the NFL news for the day, which will start with the fact that Justin Tucker was released by the Baltimore Ravens today for football reasons only.
Yeah,
So,
sure. He guilty. That tells me all I need to know.
there's that. They did draft that kicker in like the 6th round or something like that. The Ravens, it just baffles me. The Ravens had like 12 draft picks, and so did the Eagles. These are the two teams. It was round 6. Tyler Loop out of Arizona, pick 186. So, anyways, I suppose he will be the new kicker for the Ravens. I think Justin Tucker will probably get signed somewhere. I don't know. He was missing kicks last year
Put
too.
him in Cleveland, man. There you go.
Yeah, that would make sense. So we've got that. Other than that, I mean, like in the past couple of days, there's no NFL news really. I mean, Elijah Moore joined the Bills. That's an George Kittle got an extension. That's really it. Deontay Johnson to the Browns. That's exciting. That's about it. So yeah. We will kind of just go through this draft. Pete and I are going to do a joint team here. So I will do the first selection, and then Pete will get the second round, and we will just bounce off each other. I'm just going to go with Nico here. I feel like the first round is so rich this year overall. Like I don't think there's a bad selection in the first round or a selection that makes me like nervous in any way. And even like bleeding into the beginning of the second round right now, I have no worries about any players whatsoever. So I feel like the first round, no matter what, you're getting a good running back or wide receiver. Just so you know, Pete, top of the board, we got AJ Brown, Derrick Henry, Brock Bowers, Tyreek Hill, JSN, Trey McBride, Lad McConkey, T. Higgins.
Let me turn my sound on there.
And it is
Um,
up to you.
God, I don't know. I wish I could see the board a little
The
bit
pressure's
better
on.
here.
You go double wide receiver, get AJ Brown here. We could go
Yeah.
Henry's
Yeah. I'm okay
there.
with. Going double wide out here.
Okay. Let's do it. I actually like that pick personally a lot.
I
I
don't love
don't
those
know.
running backs anymore.
Yeah, I'm good at that. Nico and AJ to start. I don't know exactly where Ashton Genty is ranked right now on sleeper, but like I've seen him in mocks and underdog drafts go as early as like the 1.5, 1.6, 1.7, 1.8. But he goes at the 2.2 tonight. That's definitely a player to keep an eye on as we are heading in to mock draft season. Let's say what's up to the chat. Vincent, good to see you, bro. Hello, hello. Pray, what's going on? Andrea, Bryce, great to see everybody tonight. And thank you to everyone out there who did join the mock tonight as well. I do want to kind of like switch in between the mock and a couple other things tonight. So let me see if I can do this. Okay, I did it correctly. Hold on. Getting ahead of myself here. Okay, let's have a little conversation. Let's try and spice it up. And I want you guys in the chat to hop into the conversation as well. Let's discuss who had the best NFL draft just in pure terms of fantasy football. So, like, not overall grades, not including defense, not including anything other than just from a pure fantasy perspective. And there's a couple options here, and I wouldn't say it's limited to the options that you see on the screen, but these are a couple teams that I thought had good drafts in terms of fantasy or fantasy potential. And really, the question is out there. We'll let you guys be the final verdict. But I think the Raiders had a great draft offensively. I like Jack Bech a lot. I think he can fit right into like a wide receiver 2 type role. I think Geno Smith can support him. Obviously, Ashton Genty's a huge selection for them. Bears is it interesting? You know, I'm okay with the Loveland pick. I think Luther Burden can come in and have some sort of impact, but that wide receiver pass catcher room, especially with Loveland added, is just super crowded. You got the Jags. I really like Bashal Tutin. I think he can be kind of like a Bucky Irving potentially. I think he can like
Mm-hmm. That's a
completely, yeah.
perfect comp. Bucky Irving, fast too.
I think he can just wipe ETN out of that backfield. Maybe Bigsby is still in there a bit, whatever. But I think he is like a player that right now I am excited about. And then obviously Travis Hunter, we'll see how it shakes out, but he is definitely an addition. I actually like the Jags offense a lot right now. I think losing Evan Ingram sucks, but Brenton Strange is, a guy we liked last year as like a streamer at times, so could be something. But I think Trevor Lawrence can have a much, much better year. I think the Jags are interesting right now. The Chargers, I obviously love the Omarion Hampton selection. I don't think that anybody like dislikes that selection. It's going to be interesting with having Najee Harris there as well. How often or how many reps we see Hampton get early, but I think as the season goes on, obviously he can be a huge contributor, right? And then for me personally, like another late round name at wide receiver that I like is Trey Harris. So I think they had a great draft overall, and I think the Patriots like did a lot of damage in a good way too, especially because like their free agency was kind of weak, I think some people would say, or maybe just not like
It was more
exactly.
defensive focused, I would say, in the draft a
Yeah,
little
like
bit
they
more.
tried to sign every wide receiver possible and ended up with Stephon Diggs because no one wanted to sign there. But
Don't
I
get me. Somebody was like, "What do you mean Stephon Diggs isn't a weapon for Drake May?" I go, "Stephon Diggs is 32 coming off a knee, guys. Travion Henderson is now a weapon for Drake May. He's gonna be awesome, I think."
Yeah, and I think like Diggs can have an okay role and everything. It's just like, he's not going to have that upside at like before, right? But like
Yeah.
he can be fine, especially in the red zone. But yeah, Trayvon Henderson obviously is the big name here. It's gonna be interesting because Ramondre Stevenson's still there. I don't know off the top of my head if Antonio Gibson is on that team still or not. If I don't know if that's going to
Probably.
necessarily
Who
matter.
knows? Yeah.
But it will be a different team this year, right? We have Mike Vrabel as a head coach, and we know that he likes to run the football. So I think, like in terms of Henderson, this is a name that is really like, in terms of fantasy potential, is a name that's really up there for a lot of fantasy managers. So um, I do feel good about his potential from a fantasy perspective, but at the same time, like it's the Patriots, so
Henderson's gonna be like a boomer bust guy. He's gonna be a guy. It's like, okay, he had a week where he did really nothing, or a week where it's like, oh, he caught 7 passes and he chunked one for 60 yards and a touchdown off of a screen or something like that. Or
yeah.
he's gonna be a very boomer bust flex play, but in like super like in deep leagues or in leagues where it's like great matchup, I played him in my flex. He's gonna pay massive dividends for people. And who knows, maybe like he is an every down back for them and they just pound the rock with him. I don't think they're gonna do that, but he has a ton of home run potential.
Tons of home run potential to say the least. And I like Kyle Williams at wide receiver a lot as well. Dude, Tyreek Hill is on the board, so we're starting out triple wide receiver tonight. We're going zero RB over here.
Okay.
Yeah, we're
I don't know if
gonna.
Tyreek Hill's interested in playing football anymore. I'm starting
I
to get
know,
concerned. I got
but
concerns.
I feel like at the end of the third, I'll still take a chance on Tyreek Hill as a flex play. Absolutely.
We can trade him. He'll have a big week. We can trade him.
Yeah. And on that slide, I also had the Giants because I like Jackson Dart and Cam Scatabo is a player that a lot of people are excited about from like a pure fantasy perspective or potential. So
I don't think we're ever gonna see Dart. Like we're not seeing Dart this year. I would bet Dart is week 14 or later if we see Dart. Scatabo is gonna be like a great goal line guy. Like feels like Scatabo is gonna be just like poaching touchdowns left and right. He runs like a maniac. Um, Apparently like a really bad person. Like everybody kind of hates him. That's why he slid a little bit. But sure, we'll put him in New York. Give him a goal line touch. Like he'll be that. Who is? I'm trying to think. Who was that? God, I want to say it was like the Chargers or somebody would like somebody would always like poach LT in
yeah,
fantasy. Like, oh, 3 carries for 2 touchdowns and 4 yards and stuff like that. I feel like that's gonna be a Scattaboo type line for us.
we are back on the clock.
We gotta go running
Great.
back. What's
You want okay? Running back would be Kenneth Walker, Kamara, Chuba, Mixon, Connor.
We can go K9. We can go K9
Okay,
here. I like what Seattle
I
did in the
like Kenneth here.
offseason.
Yeah,
Offensive line a little bit better. They're going to play great defense. And Sam Darnold, handoff merchant. Let's go.
I mean, you do know Sam Darnold better than anyone. So, let's see here. Miss Sarcastic likes the Raiders. Bryce says, A chain over Genty this season. Andrea says Raiders don't care for the Bears. See, like, and I think the interesting thing with the Bears is like we look at the makeup of this offense right now, and I do wish that they were able to draft a running back. And like I actually like DeAndre Swift this year, of course. I mean, that's a player that I
No
always
other
end up talking
option
about.
this
Yeah.
way.
But it like you kind of want to think about this offense and compare it to like kind of what the Lions had, and like they're gonna have tight end play between Komet and Loveland. The wide receiver room, like you lose Keenan Allen, you get Luther Burden in there. You got a Dunze, which is like a top prospect last year. DJ Moore is a great wide receiver. One, Swift is gonna have to like attempt some sort of role. I think it would have been a lot more interesting if they brought in a rookie running back just because then he could try to make that comparison to like a Monty Gibbs situation, but we'll see. The offensive line is like,
Good.
you know,
Should be good. Should be okay.
yeah,
That whole division, though, the offensive line everywhere in that division. Good defenses, too. So we could
yeah.
maybe not see the dividends for like we've seen with Detroit and Chicago.
Well, yeah, they definitely improved the offensive line this offseason, mostly through free agency, but drafted one offensive lineman, if I'm not mistaken, in the third round.
Mhm.
So I think like I don't want to say it's like a make it or break it season for the Bears by any means. So
But it might be for Caleb. It might be for Caleb Williams. Like if he has a
yeah,
bad season, it's gonna
it'll
start
be
getting rumbly.
well. I just think you have a lot of like these quarterbacks. Like Trevor Lawrence is a good example. Like coming out of college, like generational type talent, and then like it's been a bit flat, and I think like you could see a similar type of situation. Like if Caleb is just playing like flat, like the team's like fine. It's like, is that a success or not? It's really going to depend on like, do they make the playoffs or not? But I just think like, everyone was like, the Ben Johnson hype was like so high, and like from a fantasy perspective, like so high. So I think like if you're
I
about the Lions
I
last year, you should probably be about the Bears from a
I
fantasy
think their
perspective.
team is just a little bit different than that Lions team. The offensive line, isn't quite as good as it was in Detroit, especially at the tackle positions. They don't have like that
Sure.
swing tackle. They don't have anywhere near either of those running backs. Like DeAndre Swift is super hit and miss, kind of old. Loveland is not. Loveland might be the worst blocking tight end in the draft. Is the
Yeah.
problem? Like Sam Laporta was a grinder out there, and
Yeah.
we saw like Sam Laporta disappeared for like a majority of the season with this offense. So like I do love like DJ Moore stock. Like I'm super high on DJ Moore stock. He's gonna be like Amon Ra. Just feed him in the slot, a million catches, a million yards. So I do like that upside from it, but it's not going to be like, what do we have? Like 4 or 5 Lions we were starting last year every week. And it was like, yeah, it's probably a good start.
Yeah, it's a good point. I mean, even if the offensive line is improved, it's not the Lions' offensive line, especially a tackle. And we'll see how things shake out. But I do definitely agree about DJ Moore, and like he's once again one of these players. Like every offseason, it's like you're gonna hear me talk about DJ Moore, Devonta Smith, Cortland Sutton, Rashad White, same guys. But it's just like right now the value's there, and that's what we look for, right? So. All right, into the 5th round we go. We will break down all the teams at the end of the stream, so keep that in mind as
Maybe
well.
not Cortland Sutton value at 5.2 over here. They're on it. That's so high for what we've seen Sutton go in the
Yeah, I
last
mean,
year.
last
I
year
mean,
was like 8th, 9th round, but I still think the 5th round is good enough value. And like I love Zay Flowers in the 5th too. Like
mm-hmm.
Devonta Smith, Cortland Sutton, Zay Flowers, DJ Moore, the last 4 wide receivers off the board. Like I think those are all just great values. I don't know if the upside is like insanely high with those guys, but the consistency that they can offer in full PPR is going to be there. Touchdown upside could be limited.
Sutton could be the breakout guy too. With if
Yeah.
Bo Nix like takes a real step in year 2, he could be like a huge breakout guy, getting all those touches. Because like Denver ignored their offense in the draft too, which was kind of weird. We thought for sure like they're drafting a running back in the first round, or they're gonna draft, they went like defense, a weird wide receiver, I mean, RJ Harvey's kind of an interesting running back, but I don't know about that. But Sutton's always gonna catch us touchdowns. So
Yeah. So I'm glad you brought this up because, and well, first of all, I really like the Broncos offense going into next year. Like this is an offense you guys are going to hear me talk about a lot. And like 90% of the reason why I like it is because I just believe in Bo Nix, which remember last year, that was my guy, right? And I actually really like RJ Harvey. RJ Harvey is a player that I think could be a real thing in fantasy this year for sure. For sure. Because there's just like nobody else on that team. I guess there's time to sign a free agent, but I don't think there's like any running back free agents that anyone should be worried about. But I'm really high on RJ Harvey. I do agree that Pat Bryant, the receiver out of Illinois that they drafted, is like corner out of Texas in the first round was like just a good like value type selection. And I mean, we do defense videos on this channel, so I do think the Broncos defense, like that's the thing. But yeah, in
that is
terms of
definitely a
offense,
thing. Like Broncos defense definitely next
yeah,
year,
yeah,
guys.
yeah. And I wasn't like 100% in the boat of like the Broncos are definitely going to draft a wide receiver because like I don't think it would have hurt by any means, but I feel like Cortland Sutton and Marvin Mims are the wide receiver 1 and 2, and we saw that at the end of the season. Like Mims didn't do a whole lot at all the first half of the season, but once he started to get rolling in that offense at the end of the season, he was a big part of it. And they did add Evan Ingram, which I love at tight end. So I will be talking about that offense a lot this
Troy
offseason.
Franklin had the big touchdown in the playoff game, so
Yeah.
maybe he's gonna come on.
See, like,
I don't know.
I
He's
want
the
to
guy.
like Troy Franklin as well, but something's off there for me.
True.
It's
True.
just like good.
I said true, like true. It's
Yeah,
just like it should have been a lot better than what it was last year.
yeah. By the way, next pick, I took Monty there at the 5'10.
Always approve.
So we've got Hawkinson, Olave, Waddle, Chris Godwin, Addison, Pickens, Baker Mayfield, Patty Mahomes, Jerry
Man,
Jeudy.
Patrick Mahomes is just falling off. I'm gonna let you ride with this one too. I will say, I'm kind of lukewarm on Hawkinson. I don't know what we're gonna get out of him, and Addison's gonna get suspended for at least 2 games. So
I
another guy
don't like
that's
I don't like Hawkinson in the 6th round at all.
I
Not
agree.
at all. Oops.
People are gassing him up. Some people think he's gonna have like a monster year because of the injury.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I got you cut out. Your pitcher's gone though.
I don't know what's going on with that. I'll check it in 1 second after I make this pick. I don't like, you know what? I'm going to make an off pick. I'm going to go Chris Godwin.
Okay, I like that in that offense now with
Yeah.
Ibuka filling in, coming off the injury though, a little scary, a little scary. But Chris Godwin's a guy, guys. I mean, when Chris Godwin was healthy last year, like he was like the number one wide receiver in fantasy before he got hurt last season.
Exactly.
It's just like, and the from what I hear from because I have a couple of Buccaneers fans in on the channel, they were like he was like if they had advanced, he was gonna play in that second playoff game against Detroit. Oh, John's like in and out, man. He's gone. I'm gonna have to carry it. Um, yeah. Stephon Diggs comes off the board. I don't know how many games we're gonna get out of Stephon Diggs this year. Tore his ACL in October, I want to say. And if you listen to anybody who's like an actual rehab therapist, they say it's a lot more than, guys are coming back in 13, 14 months, and it's really like an 18-month injury when we're talking about an ACL injury. Like, it's just not good. Like, you're just not healthy when it comes to the ACL after till it's like 18 months. And we saw this with Hawkinson last year. Hawkinson came back and he was super slow, like not getting healthy. Oh, he's back. John's back. Hey, we're talking about Stephon Diggs and ACLs. It's just like,
I could hear
yeah.
everything.
Oh, couldn't
I don't
hear.
know. That was really weird. It just like locked my camera and said that Zoom was using it, and that was not true. So, but I fixed it. It's okay.
Spam, sure.
Okay.
Spam count over here. Bot. Not even a real person. AI generated content over here.
For sure.
He's an AI.
For sure. But yeah, I like Chris Godwin in the 6. I do think it's a crowded room. I still like Jalen McMillan as a player. Then they go out and they draft arguably the second best, maybe best.
He's probably the
receiver.
best number 2. He's the best number 2. Like he's the best not number 1 wide receiver in the draft.
But it like some people are kind of like baffled by that pick, but like Mike Evans is old. Chris Godwin is coming off a major injury, and they want to throw the football, So
even though they ran the ball so good last year and they stuck with it. I think the Mike Evans thing is over now though this year, guys. Like they had the big moment. He got the 1,000 yards. Was it 10 seasons? He got it. Like it's done. Like I don't think he's going to hit that number this year. So that is maybe a good sign for us.
Because he's going in the end of the 3rd. Like that's fine. I think the red zone usage will be there for Evans, but it's got to stop at some point, right? But I don't know. We say that's like people say that about like Derrick Henry, and it's like Derrick Henry's still that guy. So,
The good
but
thing is that division is so terrible on defense in
yeah.
particular. They're going to be able to score points.
And one thing I loved about the Bucks in this draft is like they didn't really like address their defense. Neither, well, I guess the Bengals did a little bit, but those are the
No,
two teams that
the
I
Bengals
thought about.
draft was horrible. I killed
Yeah,
their draft. It was
I
bad. I don't know what they were doing.
I do agree that like the Bengals just had like a pointless draft, but those are the two teams I'm like, okay, that's good because the Bengals offense and the Bucks offense can now just still be very fantasy relevant. Remember, teams with bad defenses, good for fantasy. They need more
Usually.
offense.
Usually.
Um, so yeah, we'll see. But yeah, I think Godwin's okay there. There's some risk, but like as a second flex, I'll take that chance for sure. Khalil Shakir off the board here in the 7th. I do
Love
think
it.
Khalil Shakir is a fantastic value right now. Fantastic value. Got extended, 4-year extension. He's the wide receiver 1 on that team. It's not close. It's not Keon Coleman. It's not Josh Palmer, Elijah Moore.
Now it could be Josh Palmer, but like Josh Allen trusts Khalil Shakir the most, and he is going to see the volume.
Yeah.
He's gonna get the red zone targets. He's gonna get because he had that weird stretch last year, wasn't it? He went like 8 or 9 games without a touchdown or something weird. He was having all these big numbers, and he couldn't get in the end zone for us.
Yeah. Shakir had double digits every game last year except for 4. He missed 1 game. He only scored 4 touchdowns last year. It's just like pure PPR type value. I don't think he should be overdrafted necessarily because this offense just doesn't like throw the football a ton,
Yeah. But maybe they will. Maybe we never know with
Maybe.
Buffalo. Maybe they will. Everyone thinks they're gonna run it. We're gonna throw it this year
No.
with Josh Allen. We just paid Josh Allen a lot of money. Go throw it.
I think I. Oh wait, I do the next pick. We went Godwin. I don't remember whose turn it is, but
I
we're
don't
about.
care. Just go ahead. I'm not even here. I can't even see the board. It's like drafting
Okay.
blind, trying to figure it out. Go ahead. Like
All
we
right.
just can comment. If you got a couple of guys, you could like if you got 2 or 3, like you're deciding between, I can help break a tie or something. But we're just here. We're talking ball, guys. It's all right.
Man, DeAndre
God.
Swift going in the 4th round. I feel like before the NFL draft, he was going a lot later in mocks and underdog drafts.
Well, now he's the number 1 running back. Everyone's like,
Yeah.
oh shit, he is the number 1 running
He's
back.
going before Kamara and Chuba. Man, Tyrone
Chuba,
Tracy is fallen back in drafts too.
always underdrafted. Chuba's the best.
I don't really love the receivers available. I don't want to go tight end yet.
Want to go
I don't want
quarterback?
to go. I don't want to go quarterback. So we're gonna take a running back.
That's fine. Running back
I'll take a chance on Tracy as a RB3. That's fine. We're kind of in 0 RB territory anyway. So, all right, let me check the chat here. Ronaldo says Henderson is great for Drake and pass protection. Yeah, and that's a big thing too. Is like the Patriots, to a degree, from a fantasy perspective, like going out and getting, one of the best offensive or the best offensive lineman in the draft is huge, right? And anything they can do to help protect Drake May is going to be huge. So having a running back that can also block is going to be big. But they had an interesting draft, kind of drafted a lot of different positions. Took a lot of defensive players as well, but 4 offensive players to start the draft: to tackle, running back, receiver, and center. So that is all good for those of you who are Patriots truthers going into the season, which is a good topic because like there's, especially in dynasty communities, there's a lot of like hype around Drake May's sophomore season, which like I'm okay with. But I don't know. I'm not like
Here's a
overly
here's a
exerted
real
it.
question:
Yeah.
Drake May or JJ McCarthy for a fantasy point? Because JJ McCarthy's got the keys to a Ferrari out there on offense.
Yeah. That is close. That is, I feel like I am still leaning Drake May purely because we have a bit more of like an actual sample size. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It's harder for me to like hop into from a fantasy perspective, like wanting to draft JJ McCarthy. But like he could be a
Could he
waiver
be?
wire
Could he be
player
Sam
right away.
Darnold? Could he be
Yeah,
Sam Darnold? That's the minimum
sure.
question.
Yeah. I mean, there's no competition. They want him to be the starter. The I mean, how different is this team
They're so
last year
much
to
better. The offensive line is so much better. They're gonna have a
yeah.
top 3 offensive line this year. They spent their first draft pick on a guard. They signed the two Colts interior guys at center and right guard. They're all pro left tackles coming back. They have a really good right tackle. Their offensive line is, I mean, it's gonna look like Jalen Hurts. What was it, the Packers game in the playoffs where he was just like sitting there, sitting there, sitting there. Oh, okay, somebody got open, touchdown pass. It's gonna be really comfortable for him back there.
Yeah. So yeah, that one's close for me because then I talked about it like all last year, and that Kevin O'Connell system is just like, does it really matter who's at quarterback? And this is something you brought up numerous times. Like if JJ McCarthy was in this NFL draft class that just happened, like he'd probably be the number one overall pick,
It
right?
would have been
So
close. Him and Cam Ward made a push there, but he's
yeah,
definitely, you know, he'd be
he would have
taking
been
it too.
drafted top 5.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It wouldn't have been the fallout. Yeah, it wouldn't have been a Jackson Dart situation. Yeah.
yeah. So that is close. Chat, let us know what you guys think. McCarthy or Drake May 2025. All right, Oz, what's going on? Good to see you. Hello, hello. J Dubs, what's going on, man? Thank you for gifting a 1-month membership. Went to Louise. Andrea J Dubs, good to have everyone here. Mr. Sarcastic says Josh Palmer, wide receiver 1. I feel like every year, no matter where he is, like we get a little bit of that in the off season.
Everybody loves Josh
So,
Palmer. Josh Palmer just
yeah.
makes plays. Everybody likes him. They watch him. He's a good person apparently too. Everybody loves Josh Palmer.
Yeah, I mean, I don't dislike him, but Drake May's my goat, says Mr. Sarcastic. Mr.
Like Drake
Bakes a
May
lot.
is a better
Good.
quarterback. Is the team better around him? Is the
Yeah.
problem? That's why it's an interesting question. Drake May is a better quarterback, guys. Don't get. I know they'll come at me if I don't clarify that. Yes, I think Drake May is probably better. If you are old to the channel, I was banging on the table for Drake May over here, but
You were.
Travion Henderson and a gimpy Stephon Diggs, not the not the ideal fantasy lineup for a quarterback.
Yeah, I mean Aaron Jones, Addison, JJ, Hawkinson,
And
and what
Jordan Mason. Don't forget my guy,
oh
Jordan Mason. I think Jordan Mason might see a ton of touches this year as an RB2. And he was great when McCaffrey was out, and like the wear and tear kind of got to him towards the middle to end of that season. But if he's like true split back with Aaron Jones, that could be really interesting.
and don't forget Jalen Naylor as well.
Oh, Godspeed. I don't know if Speedy's gonna that's something going on there. We just drafted a wide
Yeah.
receiver out of Maryland, Ty Felton, who's like everyone thinks is Stephon Diggs 2.0, which I don't hate,
Yeah.
but we don't need another wide receiver. We have so many wide we have so many wide receivers.
Yeah, but if that everything looming over Addison, it could be a smart move. But at the end of the day, last year when Addison was hurt at the beginning of the year, Jalen Naylor like balled out. He was like my favorite. I was like pounding the table in the waiver wire videos. Touchdown his first 3 games and basically did nothing else. But a non-forgotten waiver wire play of last year for sure. But Mr. Bakeslot says McCarthy over May 100%. 2 words, Kevin O'Connell. There you go. Andrea likes Drake May over JJ McCarthy to clarify. Katz is in the building. What's going on, man? Hello, hello. For anyone wondering, for the rookie draft that just concluded for the single quarterback dynasty league, I will be doing a video reviewing that draft. Probably will go out like Wednesday. So In case anyone cares. But all right, into the 9th round we go. 2 tight ends off the board, 2 wide receivers, and we'll just keep rolling here. We've got 4 more selections for everybody, and then we'll break down all the teams here. So I was gonna do a whole second part to this stream, but I'm gonna leave it because that when my video went out, that freaked me out, and it's hard to switch between the two. But
We're
yeah,
saving it.
all in all,
We'll have it for
good.
another stream, guys. We'll have the bonus content for another
Yeah,
stream.
I might turn that part into like an actual video. We'll see. But all in all, in terms of like the best NFL draft for fantasy purposes, I think it's between the Raiders and Chargers for me. Just because I think they both went out and drafted a wide receiver who can just like opt in as a wide receiver 2 right away. And they both got RB1s or RB1 potential. So
Definitely RB1s. Like the
yeah,
JT and
yeah.
Hampton RB1s. And God, that was missing so much from the Chargers last year. It's like, oh, Jake, I love JK, but once he got hurt, he was toast. I mean, Gus Bus was horrible. I mean, we could just say he was horrible last year. And I love the picture. If you haven't seen the photo that was floating around when Hampton showed up to the Chargers facility meeting Jim Harbaugh. Jim Harbaugh, NFL quarterback, by the way, guys. Like, played a good while in the NFL, is just dwarfed by this man who's about to be playing running back for the Chargers. It got me
I did
very
see that.
excited.
Yeah. He is like very large.
He's like
He,
6'2", I think, and he is
yeah.
every bit of 230. So he
Yeah.
worked out. I think he was one of the guys that worked out in Dallas with my buddy up there training guys before the combine. And he's like, dude, Omarion Hampton is every bit of, he is a beast of a human being
Yeah.
out there. Also
I
very
think
big on Matthew Golden. So,
Matthew Golden.
yep. So another
Yeah.
little
How do you
Packers.
feel? How do you feel about that Packers wide receiver room right now? Because like we just took Jaden Reed in the 8th, and like I like Reed in the 8th. I don't know if I'd like him like too much earlier than that, but like as a wide receiver 4, I'm okay with that. I
It's
just
too
think
crowded. It's too
it is
crowded.
crowded.
Golden is the number one wide receiver I thought in this draft. I would have taken him over Ted McMillan. But it's Green Bay. They don't know how to use their wide receivers. They throw it to whoever the hell they want. They drafted Quentin Johnson 2.0 also, and Savion Jones or what old boy from TCU. He's literally Quentin Johnson 2.0. But if they don't play him at wide receiver and play him like Cordero Patterson, he could be an interesting guy if they like put him at a running back type situation or like gadget bubble screen guy. Could be an interesting weapon, but I can never trust Green Bay wide receivers until I see it. You know, we're week 7 and it's like, okay, here's the wide receiver 1, here's the wide receiver 2, and they're actually, you know, throwing the football and scoring points. Until then, I'm never going to trust them because every year we do this rodeo every year with Green Bay and their wide receivers, and we're always
Yeah.
wrong. You're never right on who you start. You always start the wrong one. You draft the wrong one. It's always a disaster. So I can't trust Green
Yeah.
Bay.
I'm okay like staying away as well because you still got Dobbs, you still got Wicks. I forgot that Jaden Reed got hurt at the end of the season, and then I will say like I'm out on Christian Watson. Like I'm not doing it. I'm not touching
Oh, I just got a
Christian Watson.
notification. Hold on. Wait.
Yeah.
ESPN. Christian Watson out because he stubbed his toe on the chair.
Yeah. I'm done with it. I know I was somewhat high on him just based on ADP, you know, but I think Dontavian Wicks could be interesting, you know. But I agree, I like Reed in the 8th because I do kind of harp on last year's numbers at times, and yeah, he was a top 25 wide receiver last year in fantasy. So like as a final 2 wide receiver build on your, you know, like I'm okay with it. But other than that, I don't disagree. I like Golden as well, but like where did he go tonight? In the 8th? Like, yeah, I would take Golden in the 8th as well. That's fine. Those are probably the 2 guys. Dobbs, like I'll wait and see if it's like a waiver wire type pickup or not, but he could be a good value too.
I got a good one. Are we high on Rashee Rice this year?
Ooh.
Coming back.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I'm okay with Rashee Rice. Where did he go?
4-2. He went right in front of us.
4-2.
4-2. I
That's
think it's a
fine.
good spot. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not like reaching for him or anything. But that I think the 4-2 is fine. Um, I I don't want to discredit Xavier Worthy's like rookie season. I still think Xavier Worthy's going to be a big part of this offense next year.
I think they just really complement each other really well
Yeah,
too. If Xavier Worthy
yeah,
can run actual routes this year and
yeah,
like take the top off of like people are afraid of him actually stretching the field and we can hit
yeah.
Rishi Rice like we saw in that Super Bowl run 2 years ago down the stretch. I mean, and Rice was still doing well for us before he got like it was a weird start to the season, but he was doing fine. And
Yep.
then Patrick Mahomes just like sabotaged him
Killed him. Yeah,
and took out his knee.
yeah. But Worthy really got going at the end of the season. I mean, the fantasy playoffs, 19.6 or more points in each game, and I that's kind of the thing that I always talk about every offseason. Like if Rice is going in the fourth and Xavier Worthy is going at the end of the sixth, I'm probably going to be targeting Xavier Worthy more often than Rice. But it's an interesting wide receiver room. You've still got Hollywood Brown hanging around for what that is worth.
Not
They
holding my
draft,
breath on that one.
yeah. I mean, I'm
Kelsey,
not,
if we'll know week one. Like, let's look if Kelsey actually got skinny or if he's like
yeah.
fat again. If he's
Well, and
skinny,
I
I'm
think
interested in Kelsey, man. I'm interested again if he's skinny.
the interesting thing with Kelsey too is like it's not just Kelsey for me. It's like Noah Gray. I think Noah Gray could continue to be a part of this offense at tight end as well. So if they have two tight ends who can have some sort of impact on this offense, right? Um, Other than that, you got a lot of names hanging around our wide receiver, but I do think Jalen Royals is interesting.
Very good. Another Rasheed Rice type guy.
Yeah,
they definitely have a type of receiver that they want. But hey, Mike Evans is maybe the trade bait. Mike Evans trade
Mhm.
deadline, Kansas City Chief. I'm saying it right now. If the Buccaneers little waiver, they like they
It'll
like
be like,
Ibuka, they like the whole setup there. Why not trade
yeah,
Mike away?
it'll be like some random. It'll be like Keaton Allen doesn't get signed, so they sign him in October, like
They can't keep.
something.
They gotta come on. They can't keep bargain basket shopping for like a big physical receiver. Like just please, like they need one so bad. Like oh my god, they just need a guy that can go run a route like AJ Brown or Mike Evans and go catch a contested ball for Patrick.
I I will say the thing that like staying with the Chiefs, I'm really confused about that backfield.
Yeah,
Like Isaiah Pacheco, like you guys know that was my guy. I was the Isaiah Pacheco guy. But last year was like rough. Like, and the thing is, he was really good in the first two games of the year. At least
we have
fantasy
to
wise, he had
we have to
15
chalk
or
it up
more.
that he was hurt. I think like he just like
Yeah,
wasn't healthy when he came back. They were like
yeah,
because they were like kind of iffy when he got hurt. It's like maybe he's done for the year. Is he gonna get surgery? He came back. He played. He was just bad, like flat out bad. Not
yeah.
Isaiah Pacheco, but he kind of picked it up a little bit. Like I think he had a couple of good runs in the Super Bowl. So I still believe in Pacheco because Pacheco healthy was like a really really strong fantasy running back for us.
Yeah, I don't want to give up on Pacheco. I don't, but I think you're right. He probably was just hurt. But something about that end of the year did concern me a little bit. So let us know in the chat, Isaiah Pacheco, yay or nay, because right now, like he is going late in drafts. Like we kind of did a zero RB build, and when Pacheco popped up, I was like too scared to draft him. Then he fell a bit to the 7-1. Like that's probably worth it, So there's no real competition. They, Kareem Hunt will be back, but Carson Steele's still there for what it's worth.
Fullback. He's
Yeah.
put on another 30 pounds.
Yeah. I screwed up this draft. I thought one of these quarterbacks, everyone just took their quarterbacks.
Great quarterback. You had to draft Rashad White. Okay, it's part of the channel.
I probably could have still drafted Rashad White if I wanted to, but yeah, I should have gone quarterback.
Sure.
This is an interesting tier of QBs: Herbert, Jordan Love, Purdy, Stroud, Prescott.
I don't hate the. kind of like CJ Stroud. I mean, their offensive line can't be worse than last year, can it?
I mean, technically anything is possible, so it
I
can.
know it could be. I do like the wide, like they rebuilt the wide receiver room really nice. I like both Iowa State receivers to throw with Nico.
You know
Safe.
what?
Yeah, go ahead.
Let's
Go
go.
with your safe
Let's
play.
go 2 quarterbacks.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna take your least favorite quarterback on the board, Jordan Love,
Jordan Love. That's like a
just to
fine
spite
play.
you.
It's like okay.
And then if Stroud lasts, we'll take him at the end here because there's no real like player that I like. I mean, Rico Dowdle's kind of interesting. I kind of like Austin Eckler as like a final draft pick if you went 0 running back. I do think that Jadon Blue, who just got selected, is not a bad pick here. He could take over that Cowboys backfield. That is the worst backfield on paper in the NFL right now. There's always wide receivers that you can take a shot on at this point in the draft. You know, there's names here, but we have a pretty good receiver room. Could take another tight end. I think like if you kind of go 0 tight end or late round tight end and you want to draft 2, I think I'll take some chances on Dalton Kincaid. Like, I know it was bad last year. Kyle Pitts just selected. Those are the 2 guys.
Kyle Pitts. Yeah, he's still he's still alive.
Th- Those are the 2 guys, Kyle Pitts and Dalton Kincaid. I'm kind of like, if I'm like throwing in the basket at tight end, those are 2 guys I'll consider.
Come on, where's my
But I don't no expectations.
where's my guy like Luke Musgrave or somebody over here? Can we get one of those 6 Green Bay tight ends? One of them work. I love Tyler Warren. Okay, I love Tyler Warren at 11-5. Tyler Warren could be like Taysom Hill, guys. Like he plays every position. He could be the quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts before we know it.
See, and like I actually like Tucker Kraft here as well over Luke Musgrave. But I guess Musgrave was my guy last offseason.
Had the touchdown. He had the touchdown games.
The theory made sense, and then it was just Tucker Kraft all season. But we'll go double quarterback to end. Don't recommend it, but it happens. All right, let me check the chat here. Let's see. Shane, what's going on, man? Katz likes Travis Hunter in the 8th. Does not like Matthew Golden. J-Dub says we'll have a tougher draft room when he's back. That's probably true. Dontavion Wicks is the Kadarius Toney's Deontay Johnson, says Katz. I don't. That's an in-depth breakdown. Chase, what's going on, man? Good to see you. I've been doing well. Thank you for asking. Good to have everyone in the chat. Hope you guys are doing great. Thanks for hanging out tonight as we wrap up here. We'll go through each team and talk about what we like or don't like. And yeah, just good to be back with you guys tonight. Chat a little bit and starting to get back into the swing of things. Planning on having about 2 videos go out each week for you guys. And we'll just start ramping things up. I'm thinking subscriber mock drafts on Monday nights, underdog drafts on Tuesday nights. So let's break it down. Mr. Skurs is in the house. At the 1.1, we got Burrow and Fergie. I think Ferguson could end up being another tight end. Like if you're going to go 0 tight end, like he's another guy in this range I'm okay with. We just talked about a couple other options, but I think with Dak Prescott presumably healthy this year, if you're going to go 0 tight end, so to speak, sure. You know, you're going to hit the waivers if not. Burrow is obviously fine at QB. I love Kyron Williams in the 3rd. It's a player that, like, I don't understand why he's going as late as he is in drafts. I don't disagree that, like, you know, they've brought in some interesting talent in the draft here with Hunter. I'm not worried about Blake Corum. Honestly, I'm not worried about anyone. I think this is Kyron's backfield. You know, you look at it, he's been a top 7 PPR back the last 2 years. Sean McVay is going to run Kyron Williams into the ground. So if you are going double wide receiver, then starting in the 3rd round, the running back, and it's Kyron, I would feel great. So Kyron, Pacheco, Javonte, Tajay, definitely a hero RB build, but it could work. I mean, I guess Javonte could end up being a good value, but I don't know. Chase, Garrett Wilson, Devonta. I love that starter receiver. I think Addison makes a lot of sense here as a wide receiver 4. I think Pittman's a good value in the 9th. Call me crazy. I think
Only
Pittman
if
is
Daniel Jones takes over. We're off the
Daniel
Anthony
Jones is
Richardson
probably
trade.
going to play some quarterback this year. Let's be
Burn down
honest.
the Anthony Richardson trade. We're burning it down.
Yeah. We'll find out. We'll find out. Shaheed, I like as well, but these are like that's the glaring problem with these 2 picks. Like they're fine where you drafted them for sure, but yeah, quarterback situation for both these teams is very shaky.
And the Colts is much better than the Saints situation right now.
Yeah, the Saints. Like I want to like Olave, I want to like Shaheed, I want to like Kamara, but it's just like, what is going to happen with this team, and how in the world, like, did Dennis Allen last so long as a head coach? I know he's not the head coach anymore, but like, why did that last so long? And what is it going to take for Kellen Moore to save this team? But overall, this is a good draft. It is like a hero RB type build, but waivers can fix that, right? So you're going Burrow, Ferguson, Chase, Wilson, Smith, Addison, Kyron, Pacheco as your starters. Not a bad draft. On the chat, Chase. We got another Chase. Fun draft. Just subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much. I was pick 11, drafting this forecast. Awesome. Thank you for subscribing, and we will break down your team in a few moments here. Get through everyone. All right. Nader went with Purdy and Kelsey. I actually still like Brock Purdy in the 12th round if you're going to go, late round quarterback. But it's going to be really interesting to see this team this year. Like, obviously, he's got the contract situation, but Pearsall, Ayuk coming off injury. They add the best receiver of all time, DeMarcus Robinson. Kittle just got a big contract. Is he going to stop playing football now? I'm just joking, but I feel like Kittle's gotten like 3 extensions.
Yeah,
like,
he keeps getting those extensions. Kittle loves football. At least he's not.
And that's
Brandon
the thing. Like,
I'm more worried about Brandon Ayuk. Man, he's eating chicken wings on the airplane, not playing football. He's happy.
Yeah, I'm definitely worried about him. Then you got C-Mac coming off an injury. Like, there's a lot of questions about this offense, but I keep Kittle. Like, how late is Kittle going? The 5th round? Like, this was your tight end 3 last year, and like he is the number 1 receiving option right now on this team. So like, let's not sleep on George Kittle. Anyways, Purdy, Kelsey's fine. You could go the second tight end if you wanted. You could there's going to be waiver options at tight end, guys. You guys know how I feel about tight ends every single year. It's like, if you're not going to draft one of the guys early who's going to be one of the guys, which I don't like spending that draft capital on them, then go late round tight end. Let the Jonnu Smiths, the Cade Ottens come to you throughout the year. It's just the most frustrating position. All right, running backs: Bijan, C-Mac, Chase Brown, Chuba Hubbard. 4 running backs out of the gate. Pretty good RB room. I think Chuba could end up being a big steal at his ADP, but we do have some added potential. I mean, you got Rico Dowdle, and they went out and drafted Trevor Etienne as well. And I don't know if Jonathan Brooks is ever going to play football, but I hope he has a great recovery. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, Chuba is a player who's really interesting. But as an RB4, that's fine. Sutton, Myers, Ridley, Mooney, Jennings, Bateman. A lot of value at receiver here. It's an interesting build. I mean, it's a bit uneven, but like Sutton and Myers, very good values where he got them. It's just like having to plug them in as wide receiver 1 and 2 on a regular basis. It could work, but you're going to end up flexing a running back here for sure. And then that second flex is kind of up in the air, but yeah, not a bad draft. Bateman's very interesting. I do like him at the end of drafts, but now they've got D-Hop on this team. I don't know. The Ravens receivers are always weird. All right, Box and the Jag. Good to see you, bro. We got Lamar and Justin Herbert. That's fine. I will say, I said it last year too. I'm not going to be a Justin Herbert guy when it comes to fantasy. I'm just not. And we saw that shake out last year, although he was hurt last year, and he got better fantasy wise against or in offense or defenses, and as things rolled on. And I just think this is a run first offense, play defense first. Herbert worries me, but like for this team, it doesn't matter. Colston Loveland is your only tight end. See, like, I'm not gonna hate on it. Ever since I feel like Sam Laporta had his rookie season, it's like we see this happen, right? And then Brock Bowers had his last year. That was phenomenal.
Yeah.
But for me, with Andrews, Ingram, and Njoku on the board, I'm going to take a proven veteran at tight end right now in redraft before I take Loveland or Warren personally. Barkley Jacobs Hall is a scary start. I mean, that is about as good of a start at running back as you can get. So that is where your upside on this team is. And yes, if you guys are wondering, I have no beef with Breece Hall. Still believe in Breece Hall. Zay Flowers, Josh Downs, Roma Dunze, Matthew Golden, Josh Besh, Keon Coleman. Pretty good receiver room for not picking one till the 5th. So kind of the same problem as Nate's team is like you're going to line up these receivers and you're going to have to start 3 of them, but we'll see. Both these teams had a lot of upside at running back, so not a bad draft. All right, Kuda's in the house. What's up, dude? Long time no see. All right, Goff and Kyler, good late round quarterback room. Brock Bowers, fine, good. But I just don't draft tight ends in the second round. And right now, Brock Bowers' ADP is so expensive. I just can't do it. I can't. But obviously, I think Brock Bowers is going to be fine this year. But I will also warn you guys, I think he's going to have regression. I just don't think he's going to repeat what he did last year. It's going to be so hard.
His volume's going to go down. His touchdowns are probably going to go up, though. He has a competent quarterback that can throw him the ball in the red zone. But he has a competent quarterback that can also throw to his other wide receivers and a running back that, like, a backfield that can actually run the football. So, in the second round, it's way too high for Brock Bowers.
That's the 2 biggest thing. Like Geno Smith can actually spread the football around a little bit, unlike O'Connell and Garner Minshew, which like they had moments last year, sure. But like Bowers was such a security blanket last year.
Just throw it up to Brock. Screw it.
Yeah. And then like the run game is going to completely change. It's not going to be Alexander Madison and Sincere McCormick and like
Amir Abdullah. He had Amir Abdullah a few weeks over there cooking.
The end of the season, it was like, I just remember so many videos about Amir Abdullah and Sincere McCormick and that rotation. They signed Mostert as well. And let's pour one out for Zamir White, who was one of my most drafted players last offseason. But, I just think that there's going to be regression. Like, and I think that's natural to say. Like, it's really difficult. He could be like the next like Travis Kelce type player where you like, I know everyone like craps on Travis Kelce now, but this stretch, even including last year where he was a tight end 5, like this stretch is insane of what he did in fantasy football. And he's been a top 10 tight end every season of his career in fantasy. So I just, all in all, I don't know if I can take Bowers in the second, but if you want to take Bowers, fine. All right. Lamb, JSN, Judy, Shakir, Pearsall. I think it's pretty good value on the receivers, actually. Kamara, Connor, Charbonnet, Dowdle. Yeah. Pretty good running backs throughout this draft for you. Pretty good wide receivers. So you're going to start Kyler, Goff, Bowers, Lamb, JSN, Kamara, Connor. Then everybody else is up for the flex. I would say Shakir and Judy probably in the flex. I do kind of like Judy's value right now as well. All right, Mr. Sarcastic, what is going on? Bob in the chat, you say you won the draft. Let's see. Drake May and Tyler Warren. See, like, I have no beef with going like 0 quarterback, 0 tight end. I don't. You can figure it out through the waiver, but it does hold some risk coming out of your draft for sure. And like, are you going to have a ton of upside? Probably not. So, yeah. But it could happen. Like Bo Nix was like quarterback 8 last year. Johnny Smith was like the tight end, I don't know off the top of my head. Yeah, tight end 4, so it can happen. Or maybe Drake May and Tyler Warren just work out, right? Cook, Swift, Judkins, Stevenson, pretty good running backs. JJ, MH Jr., Xavier Worthy, Brandon Ayuk, Ibuka, and Mims. I like this team, actually. I think it's a good blend of upside, but you kind of got that upside because you sacrificed quarterback and tight end. So May, Warren, JJ, Harrison, Cook, Swift, Worthy, Ayuk, probably your lineup. You got some other names that could fill in there, though. I think in the second round, Marvin Harrison Jr. versus Garrett Wilson is really interesting. I'm personally leaning Garrett Wilson right now. It just like hasn't really mattered who the quarterback has been. So, and Fields like fed DJ Moore. So I think Garrett Wilson is still a guy I really like in that range. But I expect a better year out of Marvin Harrison this year as well. Michael's in the house. What's up, dude? And he, of course, he sniped Bo Nix for me in this. You know, it's tradition. Michael has to snipe me. I'm lost again. Hold on. I don't know why this is happening. Hold on.
Somebody's trying to get your Zoom. They're trying to invite you to a meeting.
I don't know why it's doing that. I'll have to check my settings, but at least it's happening this time of year. Sure. All right,
Not
Michael.
Like video or something recording.
Yeah, it says like Zoom is using. I'm like, what? But anyways. All right, Bo Nix, McBride, and Kittle stealing all the tight ends over here. JT, Caleb Johnson, ETN, Nick Chubb, who's not on team right now. St. Brown, Higgins, Olave, Kirk, McMillan. This is a very Michael draft. It's one of those teams that Michael will draft, and like you got starters at quarterback and tight end. You got 2 stud receivers and RB1, and then like the right injuries happen to where some of these other guys are relevant next year. So I do like Caleb Johnson, the 6. He's a name who didn't come up tonight, who could end up having a lot of fantasy value this year. Obviously, Jalen Warren's there, but I like Caleb Johnson. I like Olave, like taking the shot on him in the 7th. So I was high on Christian Kirk until the Texans went out and drafted 2 receivers. But I think he'll still have a role in that offense for sure. So very Michael team. It's a good little squad here. T.Y. Smooth. We got Josh Allen and Sam Laporta. I do kind of like Laporta in the 7th. Like, I know he was disappointing last year, but he was not bad. So we'll see. Allen feels like a good value in the 3rd, but he's got to be the first QB off the board, right? So, yeah. Mixon, Henderson, Warren. I am not drafting Audric Estime. What is that? Not a lot of. I would draft Dowdle before Estime, but we'll see. Neighbors, Lad McConkey, Pickens, Hollywood, Trey Harris. I can A.O. Manor. I can like never know if I'm saying his name right, but I do like Alec A.O. Manor a lot. It is kind of an interesting receiver room right now with Tyler Lockett there, but I think A.O. Manor could come in and be the wide receiver 2 on the Titans. And I always talk about when rookie quarterbacks and rookie receivers go into the NFL together, there's always potential for that to kind of blossom. So I do like that late round pick there. I feel like Lad McConkey's being drafted just a little too early. I guess it kind of makes sense. You got MH, Wilson, Jason, Higgins in front of him. I think right now I like Higgins and Garrett Wilson over Lad. It's probably close, but and I did really like JSN, but Cup will impact things a bit. But I like JSN too, so that one's close for me. But it's a good squad here. All right, Andrea's next up at the 1.8. What's going on, Andrea? Caleb Williams. and Mark Andrews. I'm okay with that. I like Bo Nix over Caleb right now. But these kind of late round quarterbacks is kind of pick your poison. Andrews, I think Mark Andrews is a good value in the 9th round. I'll just go ahead and say it. Like, I know the season, like everyone's like Mark Andrews sucks and his career's over just because of the one dropped pass in the playoffs. And I'm like, A, this is fantasy football. I don't care what happened in the NFL playoffs. And it's B, it's one play. And like,
Well,
he
they're
was
saying they
still
were
the
like gonna cut him. Like his contract's
I
bad.
know.
Like the Ravens are all over the place with their contract
Yeah.
situation. Like I don't know
Yeah.
what's going on in Baltimore.
I mean, that's the bigger issue is like there's discussion that he might get traded because then they have Isaiah Likely hanging around. Like, but even if like he got traded, it's like a majority of teams like he would still have a role. So I like his value right now, and I am a late round tight end guy, as you know we've established in tonight's stream. So I do kind of like Mark Andrews. All right, Henry Pollard, Najee, Dylan Sampson, good running backs. I like the value on Pollard and Najee. I will go ahead and say like I'm still okay with Najee Harris, even with Hampton being added to this backfield. I think there's enough to go around for both guys, but I could see a situation for sure as the season progresses where it's purely Hampton, but we'll find out. Puka, Evans, Moore, Metcalf, really good starter receiver. Cup in the 8th, Royals in the 12th. Good wide receiver room. So Caleb, Andrews, Henry, Pollard, Puka, Evans, DJ Moore, Metcalf. That's a good squad, Andrea. All right, Lando Nice is up next at the 1.9. Mahomes and Justin Fields. Okay. We did not talk about Justin Fields tonight that much, but I think Justin Fields is going to be like relevant again in fantasy. I don't know that he's going to like lead the Jets to winning season, but I think fantasy wise, Justin Fields is going to be fine. And I know when he started last year, it wasn't great, but that's because the Steelers' offense is pretty one dimensional. So I think Fields could be really interesting this year. I think he could get a lot of volume to Garrett Wilson. And when you look at this receiver room, like there's really nobody else for him to throw to. I do like Mason Taylor a lot at tight end. I think he's kind of being slept on in this rookie tight end class, at least to like casual viewers, right? And yeah, you got Breece Hall there. You got some other running backs and Braylon Allen, Isaiah Davis, we saw a little bit out of last year, but like, yeah, there's like nothing, which means that Fields should run a lot. So we'll see. Tucker Kraft, fine in the 12th. We talked about that during the draft. Gibbs, Bucky, Hampton, Mason. There's Jordan Mason. Good running back room. Tet, JMO, Diggs, Debo, and Luther Bird, and a lot of kind of good value, nice upside at receiver there. So I like this team. Fields, Kraft, Gibbs, Irving, JMO, Tet, Diggs, Debo. Like, okay, I mean, there's some risk with this team. Tet McMillan as your first receiver off the board does worry me a little bit. I know it's rookie season, but all right. We'll come back to our team at the end here. Forecast. Chase at the 1.11. Hurts, Baker, Hawkinson. I will go ahead and say, like, if I'm going to spend 5th round value on a quarterback, I'm not taking a second quarterback personally. I would rather just hit the waiver if like I feel like I need depth later on. So I don't think Baker is necessary here, but it's like not the end of the world by any stretch. I'm not quite there with Hawkinson. I think I like even Jonnu Smith more, or I would just wait and try and get an Andrews, Ingram, and Joku. I don't like hate Hawkinson. I just feel like the 7th is a little steep for me. So I would personally wait at tight end. A-Chain, Genty, Harvey, Scatabo, and yeah, Jadon Blue. I mean, rookie season is hot over here. All rookies except for A-Chain. Genty, like I don't know. Genty and Harvey I like enough, but I would try to get a little bit more veteran presence in here other than just A-Chain. Adams, Rice, Hunter, Robinson. Interesting receivers. Kind of forgot Devontae Adams is a Ram.
True.
For what that's worth. So Hurts, Hawkinson, H.A. Genty, Adams, Rice, flexing Travis Hunter and R.J. Harvey. It is not an awful draft by any stretch, but I do think there's going to be some things that will have to be addressed in, via waiver wire and all that. But in terms of Adams right there, yeah, Adams and Rice, probably the McLaurin. I guess you could argue over Adams if you want to. That's fine. I just don't know with Adams. Dang, he was a wide receiver 11 last year. It feels like he was not that good last year, but I forgot he really turned up. Aaron Rodgers is force feeding him in this stretch like no other. It'll be interesting to see. But yeah, this team could work, but I try to kind of have more of a balance between rookies and veterans, so to speak. All right, Trev at the 112 tonight. Jaden Daniels in the 4th. I don't dislike that. 3 tight ends. I don't know if that should ever be a thing. But Johnny Smith, David Njoku, and Kyle Pitts. Drake London, B. Tom, and McLaurin was like a scary good start for going triple receiver. Aaron Jones and Brian Robinson, I'm okay with where they're selected. Then Waddle, Hopkins, and Lan Larison, the Patriots. So yeah, 1 tight end is plenty. 3 is too many. So Jaden Daniels, Jonnu Smith, Aaron Jones, B-Rob, London, Thomas, McLaurin, Waddle is your starting lineup. It actually works, but I'd be worried about the depth here, and I am still worried about Waddle. I mean, I guess you could flex Njoku over Waddle or whatever. D-Hop, I just don't think he's going to be a thing, even in Baltimore. Honorary Kyle Pitts mention for the night. But yeah, I mean, this team, I don't love the build, but it kind of worked. All right, let's roast my team to wrap up here. Or mine and Pete's team that became my team. All right, we went late round quarterback. We got Jordan Love and CJ Stroud because I reached on Rachaad White over Bo Nix. Evan Ingram, I'm fine. This is the tight end range I'm going for. Andrews, Ingram, and Njoku right now is that sweet spot for me. So I'm high on Evan Ingram. Depends on how you feel about him, I guess. We started with 3 wide receivers, Nico, A.J. Brown, Tyreek Hill. We got Godwin and Reed. And we went kind of 0 RB, Walker, Monty, Tracy, White. The upside is at wide receiver. Hoping for a little bit better value at quarterback, but should work.
We should have just took Mahomes instead of White. That fixes this draft, and we could go running back to finish it out.
Yeah,
Patrick out
definitely.
there.
We probably still would have got Rachaad White, but I wanted to, let my presence be known tonight. But yeah, I mean, it's not a bad draft. We're starting Love or Stroud with Ingram, Walker, Monty, Nico, AJ Brown, Hill, Godwin, and then everybody else here has some sort of flex appeal. So I don't hate this draft. You guys can let us know if you hate it or if you don't. But there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Your first real mock draft of the offseason. I think we did one kind of we did a way too early one, but here's your first one post NFL draft. The plan as of right now is to run these on Monday nights. I'll keep you guys posted on Discord, and I'll start implementing some underdog drafts as well because Best Ball Mania has opened for the season. So we'll have to get into some of those as well. And about 2 videos per week for you guys. And we'll just continue to ramp up as we get closer and closer to August, July, whatever you guys consider true fantasy time. That is not September. So great mock draft tonight. Thank you guys for coming out, hanging out. Thank you guys for drafting with us. And that will wrap it up. So make sure you guys check out the videos this week. And Pete, I'll let you say goodbye and we'll wrap it up here.
Yep, good to get the first one in the books, guys. We'll be putting out more content, like John said, more videos, more stuff. It's getting to be that time. I mean, I don't want to think about it, but we still got a summer in front of us, a little relaxing, but it's getting there. So pleasure as always.
It's getting there. It'll be here before we know it, and it's always a blast. So thank you guys for hanging out tonight. Hope you guys have a great rest of your Monday. Hope you guys have a great start to the week. And I'll probably be on tomorrow for an underdog draft. So just stay posted, and we'll talk to you guys soon. So thanks again for mocking and hanging out, talking fantasy. Everyone in the chat, Andrea, Mrs. Sarcastic, Chase, both Chases, J-Dubs, Cats, Mrs. Sarcastic, Luis, Oz, Ronaldo, Prey, Bryce, everyone who came out tonight, everyone who hung out. Thank you guys so much for being here. And with that, I will say thank you guys so much for watching and or listening. And remember, yes, Odd here on the catch.